we have the pleasure of being joined by Matt St. Marie, and he is Saint 31. And if you look for him, he is atop the leaderboard currently in the Circa Million contest. Matt, thanks for joining us, buddy. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
So we know first game didn't go like you would have wanted, but hey, we got 4 more, and we will see again. You had a 1.5 lead heading into this one, and let's just talk about that Ravens pick because we see that it is the second most popular pick out of any pick this week. Was this I was confident in this pick and I wanted to play this pick, or was this I wanted to play defense because I figured it was going to be popular pick?
A little bit of both. So obviously there was the 1 point in the line value there, opportunity to hedge. So that was obviously through my head. And then also just through the handicap itself, you saw that obviously Lamar wasn't going to play. I thought maybe that the line moved a little bit too far. Listened to a lot of sharps along the week. They thought the same thing. So obviously the thought process was aligned there. So I thought, a couple things meshed together where that was a pretty solid play, especially considering my place in the contest.
Yeah, it was a popular pick amongst the top 10 as well. We saw 6 of the top 10 all take the Ravens there. So not a great start for those 6, but we'll see how everyone bounced back from that. Tell us a little about your background, Matt. Is this the first year you've played a contest? Is this your only entry in the millions? How did you get yourself here?
Yeah, so first time ever doing the contest. Great start in contest career here. But no, I wanted to try this contest this year. I came out in July. I entered 2 in the Survivor, 1 in the Millions. Just been a football fanatic my whole life, so I thought it'd be a good chance to test my skills. So it's been a great ride this year, and obviously getting a lot of luck along the way. Yeah. And so it's brought me here.
Have you been a big sports bettor? We've had someone in here that was, big into fantasy, and they said that helped translate over. Like, what was your knowledge of sports betting, and how did you get all into this?
Yeah, so Minnesota is not legal for sports betting, so it provides quite a bit of challenge, especially along the last couple of weeks, for hedging opportunities. But so I've relied on the DFS stuff. So I've been a big DFS player for 10, 12 years. Decided to push that to the side this year, come out here, register, and give my shot or give myself a chance at this contest. So so that's basically my background. Not a big sports bettor, not really an opportunity in Minnesota. So that's where where it lands.
Pretty phenomenal for first year and not a big sports bettor. 70% right now, the best number we've ever seen in any contest, public contest. So absolutely phenomenal there, beating the biggest field with $1 million on the line. When you approach this week, are you looking for, you mentioned the hedge opportunity, and that's one of the reasons you looked at the Ravens, the Dolphins-Bills game, a game that was very popular, again, one of the top 5. Were you always planning on playing that last game so you knew where you were and it gives you that hedge opportunity, or do you have a big opinion on the Bills?
So it was a little bit of both. I liked the hedge opportunity at the end, so that did contemplate in it, but I also did like the Bills with the number. As I looked through that handicap in that game, I looked through all the injuries that the Dolphins have, obviously losing Phillips, losing Chubb with the ACL, Xavier Howard out. Josh Allen comes to play in these big leverage environments, so I'm kind of just relying on that. And then also it's the last game of the contest, so there's obviously a lot of opportunity there. But I do like Bills in this position. We've seen the Dolphins so far this year. I think they're 1-5 or 1-6 against teams with a winning record. And then you look at the Dallas game. I know a lot of handicappers looked at, all right, the Finns were pick 'em or -1
short
or so.
Yeah,
they were short favorites a couple weeks ago. If Pollard scores that touchdown right away and then they fumble the next play, that game could have played out completely different. So I kind of just wanted to wash that out, and then I think Buffalo's coming in on a hot streak. I think Dolphins are kind of they're hurting with the injuries, and I think there's a good opportunity there.
Talking with Matt St. Marie. He is atop the leaderboard right now under the entry Saint 31. It is currently the highest win percentage of anyone in a known legal betting contest that we know of anyway. So we're going to go with that. All right. It's the truth. Prove me wrong.
Yeah.
Prove me wrong. So let's, are you solo here? Every single decision is you and you only?
Solo. Yeah.
All right.
I've had some friends I've texted along the way, but most of my decisions have been, just on my own thought,
internal arguments with yourself and things.
My own process of how I come to it, and usually sweating out Saturday mornings before I have to send my picks to the proxy of like, what am I going to do here? And I know you guys have probably thought the same way. If you feel comfortable about 2 or 3 of these a week, and then the last 2 you're kind of just wishy-washy, like, all right, where should I land? Where should I go? And luckily for me, I've come on the right side of that this year. There's been a lot of luck along the way. I'm not going to deny that.
Well, sure. I mean, that's the thing.
It's a tough contest.
And I'm glad that, like, I mean, you admit it, you sit here and you look, and I say this every single week. It's like, I feel great about 3 picks. And then there's the 4th one where I'm kind of like, whatever. And then the 5th one, I'm like, yeah, whatever.
This could have been 3 games.
This could be any of those. So the fact that you were able to kind of hone in on the ones that were the right one, honestly, it really is. It's a spectacular feat, man.
Yeah.
How did you do in the quarterly prizes? So you've got this 70% record. There's 4 different quarters that all pay out 6 figures if you're able to win those quarters. Were you able to cash any quarter along the way, or have you just been firing 3 and 2s and 4 and 1s across the board?
It's been a very consistent year. So I've lucked out up until last week. I had a 1-4 week, but luckily everybody basically between 1 and 10 also went 1-4 it seems. So I really lucked out in that regard. But no, I've been very consistent. I think I've had only 2 or 3 losing weeks along the way.
Wow.
I know if the quarters were staggered a little different, I probably would have fared out pretty well. I went on a hot streak between Thanksgiving and up until last week where things were really falling my way, but nothing on the quarterly for me.
All right, so we talked about your pick with the Ravens and the Bills. So now we have Falcons, Giants, and Lions as the last 3 picks. Do any of those fall into the category of, I didn't really love it, but that ended up kind of being the last one in?
So I had probably 3 or 4 teams in my last pick. I was going between the Falcons, the Bears, and the Raiders. And so ultimately what I liked about the Falcons was the NFC South is just it's hard to have any of those teams win by margin.
Yes.
And I liked getting the hook.
Yep. That's huge in that game.
And then as I looked at the Raiders, I really wanted the Raiders, but it seemed like as I looked at the matchup, the only thing I could really glean on was the motivation factor of playing for Pierce. As I looked through, man, if they can take away Devontae with Surtain, what do the Raiders offer offensively? And I struggled with them winning on margin there. And then the Bears, honestly, I was waiting on Jaylon Johnson news. If I would have some clarity on Jaylon Johnson, I probably would have played the Bears. But with that, I ended up with the Falcons. I feel good about it. Obviously, a lot of these games are going to be coin flip and come down to the wire, but that's about it on that.
Interesting how it breaks, too. Your opponent, the person who's sitting in second place right now, takes both the Bears and the Raiders, but passes on the Falcons. So it gives you a unique game there versus the person who's sitting in second here. How much have you poured over this, the top 25 and the picks so far? Is that something you're going to dive into tonight once this Colts Texans game is over?
So once the segment's over, I'm going to go up and see how the top 10 fared out with their picks. I did look through probably the top 5 or 6 guys and what their track record was over the last 4 or 5 weeks. And then I really looked at RD Loan of what he's done. I couldn't get a good read on him. He was really balanced between his dogs and faves. I did see that he liked to play closing line value. So that was a little bit of my strategy there. But if he went different this week, good on him. But that was a little bit of what I've done over the last probably a week or so as I studied the final week.
Has this been stressful at all, or has this just been kind of I mean, we get kind of differing opinions. Some people are like, I didn't know, but has it been stressful, or is it kind of I've just been enjoying the ride?
I give kudos to my wife for putting up with me. So thank you, Robin, if you're watching at home. But it's been stressful. I think as we turned the corner at Thanksgiving and things got real, I went on a little bit of a hot streak, and things got obviously really, as I got into contention, I had to pour a lot more resources, time. And so once we put the kids to bed, I was like, sorry, Robin, I'll see you tomorrow morning. I'm going to the office downstairs and crank away. But Christmas Eve was interesting as I was sweating a Dolphins field goal at the end, as people are wanting to open gifts. But so it's been a fun ride. Honestly, it's been, an adventure of a lifetime over the last 4 or 5 weeks. It's been stressful, anxiety, but it's also been fun.
Now, you mentioned the kids. You've got twins. How old are they?
They're 5.
They're 5. Yeah. Do they understand what's going on?
Not a clue in the world. Although, my daughter, and I talked to her today on the phone, she was like, Dad, have you found a toy store yet? So that's where they're at.
You're like, wait until we see how this turns out. You might get better than a toy, you might get the whole pony this time, the actual pony.
I've got a 5-year-old daughter. I was trying to get her to root for Alabama, and she, because I bet Alabama, and she's sitting there just rooting against me for Michigan. I'm sure your kids are the same way when you check these games.
So I'm a loyal Vikings fan.
Yep.
But when it comes to contests, my loyalties go away. And so when I'm rooting against the Vikings and my daughter wants JJ to get a touchdown, it's a little tough.
I like it. He is Matt St. Marie. You can find him over on Twitter at Matty St. Also, you can find him atop the leaderboard here at Circa Millions. Currently sitting 59.5 points, the highest winning percentage of any legal football contest ever. Good luck, man. Appreciate you joining us.
Thanks for having me tonight. Appreciate it.
Go to VSiN.com/subscribe to become a VSiN Pro subscriber today.